give it over to you guys. Devmana, Cthulhu, your casters for this game.
Let's go right into this operator ban phase. Nora-Rengo with the first attacking ban. Glaz taken off the board. Yeah, it seems pretty sensible. There has been a ban for them, 50% off the Pro League.
Yeah, and knowing Aerowolf also, they work quite good on Glaz as well, bringing it out, especially on maps like Coastline, but that is remain to be seen within the future one. But on the operator bans, I did manage to talk to Infinite Ewok with the Southeast Asian Pro League caster as well, and he reckons that we might actually see Aerowolf ban out Clash for the defense one, because Hibana this time is gone, which is a bit of an oddity. So once again, attackers will be forced to play Thermite for their hard breach, which they're going to be limited. And maybe, yeah, there we go. There's the the Clash ban, because Nora-Rengo played an amazing Clash yesterday. The Walker on that operator was just absolutely nuts.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I mentioned earlier, we've seen Walker really embrace some more supportive roles and being able to frag on them. As for the last ban, it's going to be Echo taking off the table, one of the very strong plant denial operators. Now, as we load in to kick things off, Nora-Rengo starting on the defensive side.
Yeah, and right now, Nora might actually have a little bit of a upper hand, because Aerowolf, yeah, they might have potentially shot themselves in the foot with banning out Hibana, but to me, maybe they had a bigger plan for that. Murray swapping over from Rook to a Valkyrie, so they would be emphasizing a fair bit on that info gathering as well as the trap meta, bringing in both Legion and Ela. And Walker bringing out the Vigil, so definitely will be some very aggressive roaming from him as well. Whereas Aerowolf bringing straight away a Lion and a Montagne.
Yeah,
that's what like screams to me, like that's what Aerowolf, like they're going to go for those very aggressive pushes as soon as they will have a setup for their approach.
And two operators, in my opinion, that it will work very effectively against Nora-Rengo. The way that we saw Nora-Rengo defending this site yesterday was they had a very free roam game. We saw Walker manage to get some insane kills inside of main lobby and just running around completely hectic. Upstairs, all over the place, just completely destroying the New Life attack. And of course, at Aerowolf, bringing that line, restricting the movement of the defenders, and of course, on top of that, Luna Metal on the Montaigne, with the ability to just brute force specific areas.
Yeah, and that is actually a point where Aerowolf might actually have a struggle with, because Aerowolf just historically have quite some issues with the free flow roams to deal with, because it's very hard to adapt. But when the double IGL is kicking in with Array as the fragger and the IGL, this is where they could actually excel with this one.
And you know what strikes me right now? Aerowolf did manage to only cop Seed 2 from Southeast Asia, and that was on this very map that they lost to Xavier. Maybe, hopefully not for them, but it's possible that that will be a forebode warning for this match. But nonetheless, the first kill goes the way of Aerowolf, taking down one of the key fraggers. Meryu is going to be sitting on his cameras for the rest of this game.
Indeed. With that in mind, though, there is still an Ela in the face of JJ, who is roaming up around the archives, and if Aerowolf will be not careful about that, they might actually pay the extremely expensive price. And right now, it does look like Aerowolf are just setting up for the push very soon, with just under half a round already gone. And I do feel right now that if Aerowolf managed to bait out at least one more of the gas grenades, this could be very spicy. And Papilia actually holding a very cheeky angle.
A bit lacking in plant denial utility in Nora-Rengo, as we don't see any C4 still on the board, only the smokes. But of course, Papilia upstairs. This is, you know, Bank 101. You take control of open area, but that plan, and they're going to lose their first support player during that. But Hysterics might actually get this plant off safely. In fact, I think it's going to happen. Papilia goes down and the plant is secure. Luna Metal now is just going to be a human drone for his team. Nora-Rengo in a very difficult position to retake, especially as Array holds down this flank. He'll take a couple shots and they finally get finished down by Walker. Just the man himself and Racial, but no, Racial goes down. It's all up to Walker. He finds the second kill for himself in the round of 1 versus 2 retake. Hysterics and Luna Metal to hold against him. Walker has to find Hysterics now. Where is he hiding? He flicks around and he doesn't manage to finish off Hysterics. Thinks he gets the injury, but Hysterics cleans it up. That's round number 1 on the board for Aerowolf.
Very nicely done, and good executed by Array as well, catching 2 of the rotations off guard as well. And so far this looked like a very well planned, but at the same time, it was a very risky play by Aerowolf because they didn't do a roam clear on the ground floor. They went straight ahead for that push, and it's somewhat put off the team of Nora-Rengo slightly off guard, but Papilia managed to adapt to it fairly quickly with that hatch play.
Papilia had a nice position up on top of that hatch, and as you mentioned, a bit of an oversight from Aerowolf. I think it was deliberate. It was them saying, okay, look, we think we can get this down without taking open area, and they were correct. But that said, that the real issue for Nora-Rengo is the fact that they were lacking in plant denial, and this time they will in fact be bringing a Maestro. I believe they may be taking a different site, actually, but not having the intel on exactly where the plant's going down and not being able to see for it was the real issue there.
It's that plus the sheer fact that I feel that Aerowolf spotted those 2 soft walls into the CCTV room, and they saw the opportunity. They said, okay, let's get that Sophia and let's pop open those holes very quickly and see if they can catch some of the rotations off guard from the one plant to another. And they actually nearly spotted. They managed to bait out one of the smoke grenades from Nora-Rengo as well. So that was a fairly successful quick start of the round.
Nora-Rengo, after failing the basement defense, are going to head up to the top floor. A bomb site that we're seeing just come more and more into the meta as teams from North America and East do continue to play this. And of course, ACOGs being a very common theme of this map. We have 2 brought along by Nora-Rengo, Mario and Papilia. We did see them play this bomb site yesterday to significant success.
Yeah, and yesterday we also saw Walker, who was quite amazingly playing on Clash, and actually managed to score some very cheeky frags as well. But this time Clash is banned, so Walker will be playing on Mira. But you mentioned before Mario and Papilia, well, 2 of the 3 main fraggers of Nora. Do you feel that with them being able to hold the ACOG level angles, do you reckon they would have a much higher advantage over the attackers?
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter how good your ACOG is if you're looking at a Montaigne, because you can't kill him when he's looking at you. Papilia doing what he can to try and contest these long angles onto the parking garage, but he was taking a bit of damage for his troubles. So Array doing his job despite him also taking some damage. Now, Aerowolf did play an attack onto this bomb site yesterday against Atletico, and they did win it. It seems like they're continuing the trend here.
Yeah, but this time Mario will be trading off Ysera after Array takes out Papilia, and Doc actually outing Doc fairly early within the round will be a very good idea, because you don't want to verse a buffed up Doc with an ACOG.
Best way to kill a Doc, especially at long range, just shoot him in the head. Body shots aren't going to do a thing.
Indeed, and especially if he has the Rook plate as well. Rave with a very long angle, this time decides to finally rotate and join his team. I'm oh, never mind, I was just about to say I'm very curious about that bandit play, but JJ proves us wrong. Revek will be going down. And just like that, the Ashe is gone as well.
Not looking so great for Aerowolf, but that said, they're taking some good ground. Montaigne allowed to continually push, nothing to stop him from doing so. No castle barricades or legion mines preventing his push. So Luna's just going to keep gleaning intel on the defensive side. Hysterics pushing from the other side. He's going to be very concerned about these roamers, and it's in fact Walker just peeking directly out on top of him that will find the kill. Lion charge going out. That's 1 out of the 2. Luna Metal pushing aggressively into the side, trying to find hipfire, but no, somehow Mario is the one to get that kill. Array now, he's found 2 kills so far, looking to continue the trend. He's the last man remaining. Sorry, 1 kill so far. He has to ace this, but oh my god, Mario, how do you land those shots?
Yeah, Mario, I'm pretty sure he saw the barrel of that Lion V308, but at the same time, a very well held site from Nora-Rengo, I feel. And Aerowolf seemed to have just were not prepared. We do see Luna Metal actually just explaining to the team, let's just take it maybe slower, maybe take it from a longer angles, challenge them on their least safe ground. Because what Array did, he challenged Papilia on the long range, managed to outgun him, managed to take him down, even though he was a dog. So that's how they should have gone with the peaks, because they allowed even JJ to go into close quarters with Ysera being kind of pitched within that hallway. And those kind of firefights, you cannot allow Nora to take them.
Yeah, because Nora just winning their gunfights time and time again. Whether it's a 1 versus 1, we saw Hysterics lose out one of those to Walker on account of him unfortunately being concussed by his own Grismot Zafia charge. But Aerowolf have some great ideas. This Montaigne really does help them take ground. And if they didn't have the Monty, they wouldn't have been able to take all that ground from the main lobby up into the top floor. But the problem now is that when they do finally spot out the defenders, Nora-Rengo are there to win the gunfights. Now, we actually just saw Waka bringing a Spaz shotgun on Valkyrie.
I mean, Spaz 12 is actually still a very potent weapon, but that just means that Walker might actually be hanging around either close by to the objective or just keeping very, very close angles in those very narrow hallways, because this is like Bank on the second floor, if you're holding upstairs, is quite potent in that regard.
I feel like if you're going to bring a shotgun like that, you're going to be playing a position like Service Stairs or Janitor's Closet, where you're forcing these close-range engagements. But by JJ putting the mirror windows looking into Closet, there's no real reason to play inside of Janitor's at all. So it does make me curious about where Walker will be playing with that shotgun.
I feel that if not the just outside of Janitor's Closet, he might just stay around the objective and see if he can score something from there, because that Deagle is still a potent weapon. So you could still technically challenge somebody on the mid to close range, but that is just about it for Walker.
Looks like heavy top floor presence. Wow, this is not a mirror I've really seen before from Meryu. I don't really know why we haven't seen it before. It's a great position, lots of good intel that can be gleaned on the top of these lobby stairs. He's going to see Lunar Metal when he no doubt forces his way up top. Of course, Aerowolf want to maintain control of the top floor because this is the Teller's bomb site. Wow, look at these mirror placements from Nora-Rengo. I'm loving them. One inside of Janitors, looking out to the north side inside of CEO. So Aerowolf can repel on the windows all they like. JJ's just going to contest those angles. I really like this hold. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, indeed. And Ysera might actually just see if he can pop that castle barricade to see if he can force the castle out of his comfort zone. But it looks like he just manages to bail out of there. I'm rather curious whether Lunar Metal will be able to spot that. Hysterics picks up the first kill into Walker, outing him as Castle decides to bail but gets himself down. No, Lunar Metal will be gone with that smoke grenade, while Rivek will get revenge on Papilia. And just like that, a 3v4 with Montaigne down, but at the same time, you still managed to get 2 frags out of that. So I'd still say that this is a fair trade.
Yeah, success for Aerowolf. It took them a minute and a half, bit over, but they did maintain. They did manage to take control of the top floor, which is difficult when you're coming up against a defensive setup such as that one, which is very strange, and you might not have a strategy prepared to counter it.
That's definitely that. And Rivek now will be attempting to push in. JJ will be dropping down through the hatch. That was a very quick and swift defaulting down, but Array managing to score yet another kill for himself onto Racial. Now all up to a castle in the face of Meryu, who just got reset, as well as JJ on full health. They still have the element of surprise. Never mind, Ysera just swiftly takes out Meryu out of his position, and JJ now is forced to play from below. He is at a disadvantage, and he will need to go for a retake, as well as needing to score 4 kills in a row without him dying, which would be a feature and a half for him to pull off with 22 seconds. He could actually deny the plan, but can this actually happen? If JJ... No, JJ won't be seeing any of the Aerowolf players, as Hysterics will be outing him straight away.
Yeah, not really a possibility for a retake there. 1 speed operator, no C4 to boot. Nora-Rengo had a nice strategy there, but it was not successful, and got to credit Aerowolf for being able to figure out how to take that top floor control and hence the bomb site so effectively. Interestingly
enough, you don't see Nora that hyped up compared to their match yesterday. Yesterday, they were all lively no matter what. They were having a whole lot of fun. This time, they fully concentrated. They know that Aerowolf is a much stronger foe compared to New Life, at least in my opinion, from what the performance we saw. And now bringing in the a mute for Papilia, and JJ on Valkyrie this time, with Meryu swapping over to Castle.
So still a Castle, no still successful defense of the basement or of Teller's, only CEO having been successful for Nora-Rengo. Heading back to the same bomb site that they did just lose, but this time dropping the mirror, so none of that coveted mirror that I did really like on the top floor, instead changing things around a little bit, and I do think that these mute jammers will assist somewhat in the denial of information. But that said, Aerowolf having the Montaigne doesn't get blocked by mute jammers. It's essentially a drone that can just go and gain intel nonetheless.
I feel that Mute would actually be a much more viable choice right now for Nora instead of a Mirror, because Aerowolf did depend very, very heavily on having drones all around. They knew exactly where all the players of Nora were, and with that in mind, if they manage to place the Mute Gems in a very convenient positions, then that will be the denial for the whole round. And Aerowolf would definitely be having a hard time using just Lunar Metal as that live drone. And the moment he would go down, they would be in a whole lot of trouble.
Aerowolf really relying on this Lion, really bringing it every time as well. Interesting operator picks from Aerowolf. I do like how it's just so interesting. You know, lots of Lion, lots of Montaigne, and always bringing Ash. It's just such a comfort pick for Ysera, and I really can't fault them for doing that, because Ysera just has better results on Ash than any other operator. Pre-firing through the wall on these windows at the moment, still hasn't dealt any damage to Nora-Rengo. The intel needs to come out. There needs to be some call-outs onto what's happening in the top floor, but of course those Mute Jammers will be making that job a little bit more difficult.
Indeed. But now Walker got tagged up quite substantially with the pre-fires. He is being pinched by the attackers, but oh no, Array misses Papilia's feet because of that APAC side, and unfortunately losing his head as well. That is a line out of the way, and Array actually being one of the recent, well, somewhat recent additions to Aerowolf, and one of the big fraggers right now is down and out, but you still have Ysera and Hysterics as the fragger duo still remaining to frag.
Yeah, and Ysera stepping up into those shoes, taking down Papilia. Nice refrag. It's though Aerowolf haven't really taken everything that they need to. We can see still two players in the top floor, Mario and Walker, holding this top floor down. Revik, in fact, investing some hard breach utility to try and flush out these positions, and APAC will help him in dueling these long-ranged encounters. But that said, we know Walker on the other end of it. He's such a strong shot, even at long ranges with a one-time sight.
Indeed. Now, Lunar Metal would be the first person to actually push in, but he might actually get caught in the crossfire between the Jaeger and the castle, but Rachel will be the first person to take out Ysera now. That is Ash gone down and out. Hysterics is the main person now needing to frag, with Revek needing to assist that Lunar Metal, but manages to find finally the kill on Walker. Castle, I do believe he managed to default back or rotate over to the main spiral stairs, which I believe, no, that's JJ. He will be catching the Montaigne off guard now, all up to Revik, who is now all alone against three members of Nora-Rengo. Can he clutch this up? He will be running out, but JJ already on guard. He ready to score those heads, and that is the round for Nora-Rengo.
Great adaptations from Nora-Rengo as they fail their first defense of Tellers and say, all right, look, instead of bringing the mirror and hard holding inside of Executive and Janitor, let's just play inside of CEO, play aggressively peeking onto these windows. We know it works for us, and as we could see it did. Ysera abandoned those attempts at pushing the windows once he realized Walker on the other side of it was going to win those gunfights. Despite Lunar Metal using the shield and Revik backing him up to take control of the top floor, Nora-Rengo had the perfect chemistry to rotate and punish Aerowolf in the back.
Yeah, and we do get the kind of showcase of, you could say, the new Nora-Rengo compared to their previous pre-lineup changes, where back then they were very strat heavy, but nowadays they a bit more frag heavy with having that explosive trio, and that is actually playing them a very great deal, because Aerowolf is having a massive struggle to play against those free flow roams, as well as the just late roams in general. They're not expecting it, they're not prepping for it in general just yet. Maybe they will be able to read in on that very soon, but as it stands right now, Nora are at their advantage.
Yeah, Nora just consistently winning their gunfights. Not really anything that Aerowolf can't contest these 1v1 gunfights, because typically Nora-Rengo are winning them. And the thing that really strikes me is an improvement to Nora-Rengo from their past iterations is not necessarily the overall fragging ability, because they've always had that. They've always had good strats. But what they're doing now is they're playing off of each other much better. For example, Walker getting forced out up in the top floor, as well as Mario. The call out was to his teammates, and I believe it was Papilia. Oh no, it wasn't Papilia, it was one of the other players, just rotates up the stairs and comes for a flank.
Yeah, that was JJ on
JJ, there
the
you go.
Valkyrie.
Great job, just calling out, and if you don't have a preset strat to punish your opponents, call out, keep the information going, and allow your players to make decisions on how to flank and how to pick apart the attack as they push in, which is so important when you're coming up against this Montaigne-centric pushing that Aerowolf has been favoring time and time again.
Indeed. Oddly enough, Luna Metal goes for the very same route for him to go to just scout up ahead the main lobby, get some idea on what is happening, or maybe get some quick first peeks to be sunk into his shield. But right now, it feels that Aerowolf are going in for that triple droning, and curious whether they will be able to gain a whole lot of information or be able to flank out, because Revik and Array are the two main people. Revik will be dropping in right into the Skylight Stairwell, where he might actually contest and pop open the office.
Going to be difficult though, as you can see Nora-Rengo have prepared the holes above. An impact grenade will be able to deny this thermite charge, but both of them miss. Very poor job from Rachel, and in fact he takes a lot of damage for his troubles as well. Revik managing to successfully open one of the key walls into the bomb site.
Indeed. Now Array will be moving up ahead very soon, and Luna being the first person to take out Walker, but Rachel is also downed as well. JJ taking up a little bit of damage, but Rachel, I do believe, might actually gain some closure very soon. Papilia picks up a kill onto Luna while he flanks this poor Montaigne did not have any backup on him. That castle does get the pickup as well as a buff up, so it's back to 4v4. Revik will be using his second thermite charge to see if he can breach it open, but I believe this time Nora-Rengo won't have any utility to deny that breach. But Rachel, very close angle plan, and I do believe he might actually have the advantage contesting it against the Zophia's. Yeah.
One-time sight's always going to be helpful, but most significant is Papilia's ability to use this mirror looking into the janitor's closet. It can also peek all the way out onto the area, and now that Aerowolf have opened that exterior wall, there's just more angles for Papilia to play with. He's found one kill from them so far, and we can see all of Nora-Rengo just peeking aggressively these angles with their ACOGs.
Indeed, that is definitely a very great tool for them to use as, ooh, Revik getting lit up by Muryu. 4v3 situation just like that. Thermite gone, but used up fully all of his utility. Now Ray needs to step up with his V308. JJ picks up a kill on Yusera. Hysterics goes down, and Ray will be going down. Nearly a flawless round by Nora-Rengo as they get yet another round. Look at this hype. They all managing to pack it up.
Not returning to the basement CCTV once after failing on the first round. Nora-Rengo can do the job on CEO and Tellers as they finish off their defensive half 3-2.
Absolutely. Now Nora might will be bringing in a Maverick this time for their first offense round, and as well as bringing a Thermite. So that does tell me that they will be going right ahead with using those potentially 2 Thermite charges to breach open the hatches if Aerowolf will be holding the downstairs, the CCTV plant, and using then the Maverick to bring over the breaching potential to the main wall, but they will be swapping over to Thatcher. So this will be a completely different setup.
Interesting. So the Thermite's still available, but of course on account of Aerowolf banning Hibana, Nora-Rengo won't be able to play with that one. But JJ, very well known for playing on Thermite, very well known for fragging on Thermite. In fact, I do want to point out JJ, really an impressive player in his own right. We talk about the triple threat of fraggers on Nora-Rengo, Waka, Muryu, and Papilia, but JJ is the support player who will consistently frag. I'd like to compare him to players like Goga from G2.
Yeah. So would you call JJ the ultimate fragmite though within this potential round?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take you up on that. But looking into that as well, the lineup of the defense, Yusera playing on Pulse is piquing my interest a little bit, because there's not really a whole lot of ground to play from below on the CCTV plant. Do you reckon he will be just sitting around the vault area?
He'll be in vault.
Yeah. Okay.
He'll be in vault calling out the plant. That's the default thing for defenders on the basement when playing Pulse. I'd be surprised if he was doing anything else. We've seen teams such as Evil Geniuses, they use him in a little bit more variety of ways. For example, if they have the intel that they need on what's happening in the the server's room, then he might rotate to the main stairs and see where the flank watchers are, and maybe even coordinate some of the players to flank. We've seen Evil Geniuses do that to incredible success.
Nobody will be also trying to contest that breach onto the top floor, with Walker just plowing through and getting right into it to see if he can score some rotation kills, but that won't be the case. Hysteric's actually rotating over to the garage, so he might actually try to contest that, but I believe nobody is actually playing from that angle, and that is a very intricate one as well. That could catch the Aerowolf players off guard. And still so far a very close rivalry, 3-2 so far, and you reckon Aerowolf might show up on here, or you reckon Nora will take bank?
Aerowolf have the advantage of limiting the attacker's hard breach availability, as there is only a thermite available, and we've got Lunametal playing inside of the server stairs, something we've seen a lot of teams toe before. Back in the old days, a lot of Brazilian teams would actually do this with Caveira using the Spaz 15, but Lunametal, your purpose is to delay time, not peek aggressively. You're using a shotgun, you can't peek long angles.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, he will be meeting his demise, but still 4 members of Aerowolf to go. And for Nora, a JJ got actually quite lit up, as well as Mirio just a little bit, just to get them to play it slightly more careful maybe, but there's still plenty of plan denial as well from Aerowolf. You still have Smoke, you still have Revik and Ysera on 2C4, so there's still plenty of ways to go about it. With 56 seconds on the clock as well.
I'm interested in how many Thatcher grenades Racial has left, because he can use those Thatcher grenades to disable the pulse scanner from Ysera and really be able to limit the amount of intel that Aerowolf can gain on this plant, and it can help Nora-Rengo get this plant down, especially when used in conjunction with Papilia's smokes. But time is ticking away. 35 seconds left. Ysera still allowed to glean this intel.
Indeed, and with that in mind though, this will be definitely a hard feature to pull off. Both the impacts, both of the stuns will be not affecting any of the defenders. And the smoke grenades, Array picks up a kill into Papilia. Hysterics and Ysera picking up a kill each for themselves. This is falling apart very quickly. 2v4 situation as Racial actually picks up a kill into Rebecca after dropping down from the hatch. Meryu trades off Array. 2v2 situation just like that. 8 seconds on the clock left. Ysera and Hysterics need to pull this off. Meryu will be going down for a very safe plan, while Racial is holding the angle into the vault. With Ysera, I do believe, still being trapped in there. Hysterics picks up a kill into Racial. Now all up to Meryu, the big fragger of Nora-Rengo, but he does run out of ammo. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen, for this round, as Aerowolf managed to draw it out once again, 3-3.
Very good defense, some nice attacking strategy from Nora-Rengo, but overall just denial from Aerowolf. No one contesting the angles, allowing the Aerowolf players to just peek out, spray down, and both the smokes and the C4 were successful. I was worried a little bit. I thought Nora-Rengo might be able to successfully get that plant down on top of the desk, but finally Aerowolf did C4 that position. A smart play from them. That plant position is becoming more and more on meta. The reason why a plant position like that would become meta is why teams would start using it is because people think, all right, they're just going to C4 the predictable spots, so we're going to find another spot that's not predictable that they're not going to C4. But then once that spot becomes meta, people start learning about it, start C4ing it, and in that case, that's why Nora-Rengo lost the round.
For some reason, I do feel as well the fact that Nora-Rengo did go, like, they've thrown in a fair few flashes. They tried to rush in, but that was not the brightest idea from them, at least in my opinion, because they knew that there would have been a fair few people behind the walls, behind the openings, and they even drilled them out. But yet again, their whole defense just crumbed down under all of the C4s and gas grenades. The Racial at the end nearly clutched it up, and Hysterics managed to take him off. So, I mean, this was a fairly close round, but at the same time, not really. Nora did lose a fair bit of human resources, which were wasted, in my opinion, very badly.
I think it's definitely a valiant effort for having no Hibana, which is very difficult to attack this bottom floor bomb site without a Hibana. Interestingly, though, Aerowolf had a way of dealing with that by bringing that Montaigne and Lion strategy. Nora-Rengo not really bringing us that, and maybe if they did adapt and learn to play Montaigne Lion strategies, the Montaigne would definitely assist them in of hard reach, but in this case, they'd rather just go with what's tried and true and tested for their team.
Indeed. Now with Racial bringing in the Lion, I'm very curious how that will work out, because I believe we didn't see that much of a line coming out of Nora when they were playing versus New Life. Is that something that you would be able to.
They actually, interestingly, both of these teams have a 100% Lion ban rate from this from yesterday's matches so far. Aerowolf banned it in all 3 of their games against Atletico, and Nora banned it in both of their games against New Life. So yeah, it is a bit interesting to see Lion coming out from both of these teams as he has slipped through the ban phase.
Indeed. Now, with Papilia already getting that close, he might actually catch some of the rotations off guard, as Aerowolf will be now expecting that. Array playing on his trademark dog on the upstairs defense, as we did witness during the Atletico matchup yesterday. And Walker might actually catch some of the defenders off guard. He does blow out that castle barricade, allowing Revik to bail out very quickly, but Lunar shutting him down straight away on that peak, as another mirror window will be popping open just to allow Lunar to be able to peek into. JJ taking out Revik, and just like that, it's a 4v4 back to it. But outing the Buck as well on that was a very good peak right now for Aerowolf.
Yeah, obviously the grenades can be very useful, and Walker just a great fragger. Rachel managed to find a kill by toying with these really long angles that you can generate from the north side repels into the bomb site. But JJ, having opened himself an avenue into the bomb site, next needs to deal with this mirror window, because Lunar Metal can not only shoot around this mirror window, but also throw C4s. This smoke will deny some of his vision, but actually not most of it. And you can see that pings coming out onto the Nora-Rengo players from Aerowolf's Valkyrie cameras, which Revik has no doubt placed earlier in the round. This smoke is not being capitalized upon at all, which is a bit worrisome for Nora-Rengo, as they don't have a lot of smoke utility to waste. They're just waiting for Racial to locate into position and trigger this E1D. Ysera finds Mario, and oh no, what happened there? Racial finds 1 kill, but it's trades back and forth. 2 versus 1 for Nora-Rengo at the moment. Hysteric's the last man to clutch it out, but the 2 remaining players of Nora-Rengo have so much time, they just need to reclaim this diffuser.
They do indeed, and right now Hysteric's getting a lot of information. He does manage to find Papilia. Now Rachel will be knowing exactly where that Jaeger is, and both of them have full health. The Jaeger does not know where that Lion is, and will be shut down very quickly. Still a valiant attempt by Hysterics, but never mind. The Lion finds his prey, and that is it.
In contrast to the first half, the defenses of the basement are working out just fine, and the defenses of the top floor not working out so far. Perhaps Nora-Rengo just really good at this top floor defending or attacking, and I could say likewise for Aerowolf.
That is very true. Now I'm curious where would the defenders will go, because seeing as the Ray brings out the dock, it feels to me that they might reattempt the upstairs hold, with Nora bringing in just about the same lineup. So could this be just the same repetition, or maybe Aerowolf will play out a different game for this one?
Well, Nora-Rengo very comfortable with this set of operators that they have been bringing out. Mario going to actually toy with the Twitch, an interesting pick, perhaps specifically to counter the mirror windows. But I'd also like to point out that the Jaeger devices were actually being very much of a hindrance for Nora-Rengo in the last round. You could see they only managed to deploy 1 of their smoke grenades, and they were trying to waste those ADSs with flashbangs. This time with the Twitch, not only can you disable the mirror windows, but also just as important is to disable those Jaeger devices.
That is very true, and actually within the single Twitch drone, they can get rid of both the mirror devices and the ADSs. So this could work out very well for Nora-Rengo. But if they won't be able to successfully perform that, then they might have some issues running into the defense of the Southeast Asian team.
Interestingly, Lunar was actually going to reinforce the wall that he was putting his mirrors on last time. Not quite sure whether last time it was a lack of communication and missing out on a reinforce, or whether it was like a last minute, oh, let's put a mirror here if they're going to push from that side.
I'd say it was just an attempt from Aerowolf to adapt to how the playout was happening, because they had one already for certain pre-planned mirror window set up, but they didn't know exactly how would the second mirror window play out. Where's the attack going to happen? Where's it going to be centered around? And this was their kind of last moment to do it, which to some extent worked out, but barely really.
No, I like these kind of adaptations being made by Aerowolf, Nora-Rengo also doing the same as we mentioned, bringing the Twitch. I like these kind of adaptations. Now let's see, as Walker reattempts what he failed to do last time, he's actually equipped for himself an ACOG. Perhaps he's going to be peeking more aggressively, making these shallow angles, trying to find kills through these windows. Using his grenades, he no doubt wants to get rid of the same castle barricade, and then his key position is going to be flushing out Lunar Metal behind that mirror.
Indeed. Now, with that in mind, also, one of the mirror windows actually got popped as well by that Trace drone, so they will be at a fair bit of disadvantage, but I believe the one that is Luna standing behind is still yet untouched, so Aerowolf would really need to work around it very soon, with one of the walls already being popped open into the CEO office.
Interesting, Aerowolf not going for any kind of denial of those walls. Typically, we've seen from Nora-Rengo attempting to do the impact grenade trick, but it hasn't been working. There are ways to counter that impact grenade trick, and so far it seems that the attackers have been winning out. But Revik on this flank inside of the main lobby. Oh no, Walker punishes him. What a shot from Walker. And Revik goes down. JJ entering into the bomb site. He's going to try and get this plant going down as the rest of Aerowolf scramble to figure out what's going on. No mirror for Lunar Metal to use, and the C4 goes out, doesn't find anything, and it's too late anyway. JJ has already got this plant down, and Nora-Rengo have all the players up. Aerowolf dropping like flies. Mario taking down Luna now, just Ysera and away. Ysera on this flank does manage to find 2 kills so far, but this Lion Charge just going to stilt progress even longer. Wow, a good retake so far from Aerowolf, putting it back into a 2 versus 2 from 2 versus 5. Array and Ysera have less than half the bomb timers so far remaining, and wow, Rachel and Walker just playing so passively in such a strong position to hold this. Ysera and Array have to get this going quick. Array's just going to delay time, but no, that's not enough. Walker takes down 2 more kills, and that's Nora-Rengo taking themselves another round.
That was not the brightest decision-making right now from Array, as he could have even used the dog charge to just buff himself up, to even attempt to body block even, for that matter, because they were getting slightly desperate. There was that wild buck that will be still sitting around the windows area, and they needed to out him very quickly, because the Lion wouldn't have time. If the diffuser has started, Doc outs Buck, Lion wouldn't be able to make it in time for the diffuser to be done.
What I would have called for, Ysera, start disabling that diffuser and get Array to just play right next to him and hold really tightly these angles. Yeah. He's got an ACOG. That's what his job is for.
He's got an MP5 ACOG. That thing is a just killing machine.
Exactly, and I mean, he's still taking a risk, hoping that he can win those gunfights against Walker, who could no doubt pre-fire that position, but it's the best he could do, and not even coordinating, not even jumping out as Ysera started to disable the diffuser. He just jumps out. They were just way too pressed for time. But that said, an incredibly admirable attempt at a 2 versus 5, putting it back into a 2 versus 2. Now, Aerowolf have decided to go for a tactical pause. You can see they're all having a chat. Now we have Nora-Rengo also taking the opportunity to discuss their strategies moving forward as they are on match point.
Yeah, recollecting themselves will be definitely the right time for Aerowolf. They do need to get into like a map advantage even, but that is very much of a struggle right now for them, as their defense seems to be a bit of a 50-50. They do seem to have a very good potential. We did just saw them evening it out from 5 versus 2 to 2 versus 2. And just at the end, I'm guessing the stress just gives in on them, and that's where they fall.
Aerowolf had some good attacks. Their strategies with the Montaigne in particular, but they only did manage to scrape away 2 of those, and it just wasn't enough. Now that they're on the defensive side, Nora-Rengo have this fragging capability and this team synergy that's really allowing them to prosper in these positions. Even when they're losing rounds, they're making adaptations and doing it better the next time around. Here on match point, Aerowolf returned down to the basement, as it's been 2 rounds since they defended it successfully. This is the only defensive side they've managed to defend successfully. They've lost CEO twice now. Nora-Rengo need to try and make some adaptations to give themselves a bit more time. Last time was just a bit of a rush into the bomb site last minute, and not enough preventing of the denial from Aerowolf.
That is, I would actually agree with you on that one as well, but maybe this one, Aerowolf might actually sort it out. This time they are defending downstairs, where they managed to very successfully defend as well, with them initially denying the plant and then getting the 2 fraggers off Aerowolf. I believe that was Hysterics and Ysera in there. on their last attempt to get their final frags.
Yeah, speaking of Ysera and Hysterics, pardon me, they're actually roaming at the moment near open area, an interesting position. Hopefully going to be trying to default back to site when they can. Papilia has droned out Hysterics as he makes his way back down to the main stairs, but you can see Aerowolf are desperate for picks before they go back to the bomb site, and I don't think this is the right strategy for them. Nora-Rengo are also going to have to flush out Luna Metal, who died by getting greedy last time when he was playing on the server stairs. I mean, it's difficult. You're in a bit of a pickle, aren't you, when you're trying to hard hold a position, but they know where you are, and you're just wondering when are they going to push. You just have to rely on the fact that you, with the FO12 shotgun, are going to take that kill, as it looks like Aerowolf are defaulting back to the site. This Jackal's not going to let them roam for much longer.
Indeed, but we do see a fair bit of presence in the servers as well as server stairs, and I believe that will be Luna Metal and Ysera. That FO12 could definitely do a good amount of damage to the attackers if they won't be any careful. And even on this angle, Luna Metal would have an advantage with his shotgun with the extended barrel. Yeah,
you don't really have to aim so much with a shotgun as well, but Ysera, after realizing that the thermite charges are likely to come off very shortly onto the hatch inside of the servers, he decides to get on out of there, but Luna Metal hasn't yet defaulted out. He might actually peek onto Walker shortly. He could even just... No, okay, he's going to go back to site. All right, so a nice delaying of time. 2 minutes wasted by the Aerowolf roamers, and they still have 5 players up. Now they just need to deny this plant when Nora-Rengo eventually does come about it.
Those L grenades are also doing a good amount of work at just stopping the push for a little bit, because Walker, for the whole duration of that effect, was just prone there, waiting for that peak. They were waiting for the aggression from Aerowolf, but that was just what the defenders needed right now, because at the moment, they need all the utility. They still have, once again, the double C4. They have the 3 gas grenades to deny the plant. So there's so much utility that can be put into it, and I don't think Nora has enough utility to counterplay that as well. There's the first gas grenade.
20 seconds left. Array just hard holding here, and as he's lost eyes on what's happening in the site, Luna Metal's trying to sneak on through, but the plant's actually happening close. Can Luna Metal spot this out? The smoke's completely hiding the position. Luna Metal finds 1 kill with the FO12, but the plant has been denied. Luna Metal going absolutely massive with the FO12, cleans it up.
Oh my lord.
And there you go, Aerowolf finally back on the board with a second successful defense of CCTV.
That was an amazing play by FO12. As myself, as a connoisseur of the shotgun plays, I do very much admire how Luna Metal played it out, and a very ballsy play as well, pushing through the smoke with the plants are just barely within like a foot away from you.
I feel like we've seen so many plays this weekend where people are just pushing through smoke, defenders are pushing through smoke, and it's working because attackers, when they don't bring a glass, they put down smoke and no one's going to push through. You have to have someone actively watching the smoke.
Yeah.
If you see someone come through that smoke, you have the advantage in the gunfight, but only when you're watching it, because when you're not watching it, what's going to happen? Exactly what we just witnessed.
Precisely that. Now, Aerowolf feeling slightly a bit up and ready after that small technical break. We'll be moving on to the next side. I'm not too sure just yet, because the picks so far, a 6th pick from a dock-to-dock will be the grand play right now, and the Executive Lounge and CEO office will be the choice, which I feel will be the downfall right now for Aerowolf.
I've got to say, this feels like match point coming about. They've tried twice on this bomb site, and they haven't made it work once.
Although, last time we saw them play on Bank against Atletico, the match point was played out exactly on the upstairs defense. So they have the chance, but it's not as great as, let's say, them trying to play it out on the Archives and Tellers, maybe.
Yeah, they did indeed have success on the upstairs defense when they played against Atletico on Bank, but that was the only site that they had success on other than the downstairs bomb site. So they clearly just, almost like Aerowolf they only have 2 bomb sites that they like on this map. They don't like going to Archives, and they don't like going to open area, which to me is really worrisome. And wow, Racial taking down Array on a spawn peak. That is a desperate attempt from Aerowolf to stay in this map. And it's not what they need at the moment. It's not what's going to work out for them. This is Nora-Rengo's map after all. Nora-Rengo should be winning this, according to some simple logic, I guess you could say. Aerowolf can't be beating themselves up and going for these desperate plays, because when the tilt sets in, that's when there's no coming back.
Indeed. Now, this will be definitely putting them at a much greater disadvantage, as Aerowolf lost their only ACOG player at this very moment, and Nora will be coming in at an advantage. No roam again will be coming out from Aerowolf except for the player in the main hallway, just outside of the main staircase from the lobby.
Walker once again playing on these windows. He's had mixed success. Didn't work the first time, but second time around he did the job. The ACOG seems to be working for him, and likewise JJ having some success opening these walls. Ysera in no position to attempt to impact trick that. It's interesting that Aerowolf completely abandoned that strategy, and in fact Ysera's not going to do much at all this round as he's shut down first up FBI onto FBI agent. Mirio finding the first kill, and another one subsequently onto Revik. 3 players down for Aerowolf. Just, oh, that was a bit premature now, wasn't it? We've switched over to the wrong graphic, and spoiler alert, guys, Hysterics is in a 1 versus 5. Made 1 versus 4 by the first kill. JJ goes down, but he's got 4 more players to find. He gets another kill onto Papilio. Oh my god, Hysterics taking down 3 players. It's a 1 versus 5, turn 1 versus 2, but the E1D is not going to allow him much more flexibility. Racial and Walker, the last players from Nora-Rengo to hold as Hysterics is peeking on through. Oh my god, it's a 1 versus 1, and Hysterics finally falls. Nora-Rengo take the map, but what an attempted clutch from Hysterics.
Very well played by Nora-Rengo, and a very valiant attempt. Nearly an ace from Hysterics at the end, and a very unfortunate loss for them, but still they're not down. They're not out yet.
Some might say it's fate that Nora-Rengo win that one there, 6